minutes to let people start coming in. Boy, this has been one busy day. It just seemed like I couldn't sit down and take a breath to save my life. And I am plumb wore out. I tossed and turned last night because my knees were aching so bad that every time I would turn over, it would cause movement, which would cause a jolt of pain that would wake me right back up. And then I had to go through the whole process of uh, trying to fall back to sleep. And then I was up at 6 o'clock. But, anyways, we finally made it. The day's almost over. And I'm glad nobody's in yet. That train is so annoying. Ugh. Hey, when you come in the chat this time, do me a favor. Give me your name and location and say hi in the chats. And of course, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I don't expect a thumbs up unless you like it, right? It's only fair. And if you're new, subscribe. Yes, I do survival stuff. Sometimes I just talk. But I became homeless about a week ago. And I'm just documenting my journey, documenting the things I have to do for daily living, and hopefully I can blow this channel up. Hopefully people get interested and subscribe like crazy. I'm gonna be authentic and as transparent as possible. Who's that just came in? Is that you? I think I know who it is. Say hi if that's you. Wow, 12. Good, cool deal. Like I said, I'm pretty worn out, guys. You can rewind this after I get done and see the opening spew. But I'm pretty worn out and tired, but we're gonna put a spring snare together. And if you watch my previous shorts leading up to this, you'll know what I'm getting ready to show you. Okay, first we got 3 straight sticks, and then if you watched my shorts prior to this, let's get rid of him. You will recognize this. Now here's what I'm gonna do to get the first part is I'm gonna trim this off probably right about here, and I'm gonna go clear down to here to where the other Y is, and I'm gonna try to break it off clean about right here. So I'm gonna process these two uh, trigger holders, I guess you. And while I'm doing that, let's pull this in closer so that you can watch and we can chat while I'm doing this. Ain't no point in not talking to each other. If you're here, say hi. Don't be shy. Uh, just say hi, give me a thumbs up or whatever. But let's just go ahead and get this started. Okay, so here's the first one. I gotta be very careful to keep the integrity of this V. So what I want to do, matter of fact, I might just be able to break this by hand. So I'm gonna go about thumb length, go behind it. Ah, there we go. That saved me a lot of time. Disregard it. Then I'm gonna take and just go ahead and score around the base of this with my knife. I love my kabar. Most guys will keep a kabar as sharp as a razor. I don't. Uh, if you're in special forces and all you're using your knife for is to deal with flesh and bones, then more power to you. I don't. I keep it just sharp enough to skin an animal, to field dress an animal, but so that it doesn't ruin the blade when I do other stuff with it, like this processing wood for a snare or trap or for shelter building. Okay. Now there's a lot of factors into how long you want this. This part right here is going to go into the ground. Here, let me turn this so you can see it. Here's the V. This part right here is going to go into the ground. I'm going to either shorten it or keep it long. And a factor that dictates that is the softness of the ground, because it is very important. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this, and you'll see why here in a minute. And you need it to hold. You need it to stay in the ground. Okay. Let's see here. Let's use this knee because the other one hurts. No, still needs a little more. Still needs a little more. So let's go ahead and do this. Lots of survival guys will teach you the long version of this, but really in real life, the long version of this could mean whether you eat or not. You don't need to do all that nerd stuff. And I'll show you what I'm talking about as soon as I get all these pieces processed. No, just a little more, guys. Anyways, while we're doing this, let's talk about stuff that's going on in the world around us. I know we're Christians. I know we're believers of God. At least a majority of the audience here is. But that doesn't mean to not pay attention to what's going on around you. Uh, I hope this works. let's do this. Let's do it this way. Try it very delicately. There you go. First one. And let's go ahead and get rid of this. In real life circumstance, you don't need this to be pretty. I mean, I can use this like this, but let's just go ahead and make it pretty. Okay. Okay. Here's my first one. Here's my second one. Now my second one, I'm going to basically do the same thing. And I think to save myself time, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this piece, probably do away with this little part right here, because I have a feeling it's just going to annoy me. There we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. There we go. And let's even it out some. And there we go. First part of our tool. Let's trim this out. I don't like that. Let's trim this out. There we go. Now it looks a little better. There we go. Now, if you can imagine, this as a trail, okay, a game trail. It probably was at once, but it became a Dave trail to get back here. Here's the other three. I don't want to mess with this yet. This is how I go through it and do it. It's just that you don't make a mistake and then you got to go out and find more material. This actually will probably make for a good trip. And let's go ahead. And you ain't got to do all this burning of ends and stuff. I'm just trying to make it pretty for you guys. It's in a real life scenario. You're not going to worry about pretty or ugly. You're just going to worry about getting this done so that you can get some food in your belly. Now, I talked about in one of my shorts you can use the natural flexity of a branch to be a part of the engine that pulls the noose. Or you can use a counterweight. I chose a 7.5 pound plastic dumbbell. So let's tie this together. This is going to just be a simple mover's knot so that I can recover my paracord. Paracord is such a beautiful invention. I use it for everything. Uh, and you rarely see me without it. And if you don't see me without it, it's probably because I got it in my pocket. So all we're going to do is just a simple mover's knot. so that when I'm done, all I gotta do is pull that tail right there, and it'll come right out, and I can have my thing back. Let's move the camera. These knees are old. Let's see if, this our trail is going just like this, guys. It's going directly behind me, just like this. Here is my tree. This is hard to do. Well, let's move it back down here. There we go. They can move this out of the way for a second. And right about here, so you gotta work with what you got. I don't have a whole lot of paracord left. You can see. Oh, come on. This is crazy doing this. You can see the weight. See it? Okay, and all I'm doing is just giving myself back. But three people watching. But I just want to give myself a guesstimate on where I need to put the pieces we just processed. Now, when you look at this upside down V, and here's the trail, okay? The trail is actually in direct line with this string. You're gonna take this V, upside down V, and you're gonna face the shorter part towards you. Okay, now that I got my distance, let's go ahead and lay that back down, and we'll leave that there just for now. And I'm gonna, let's see how, yeah, this ground is extremely soft. There we go. And okay, now, yeah, I can. Oh, cool. There we go. There we go. It didn't, well, at least I didn't notice it before. Here's my first set of the snare, and I'm sitting right here. You see where the weight is. Here's the trail. Okay, and again I say, imagine this is a game trail. This ground is extremely soft, so what I want to do is try to tighten this up a little. same thing right here. Okay, there it is. Alrighty, now let's turn this back around. Move this chair closer. And Dave the Camp Man. Okay, I told you in one of the shorts, I think it's part 2, it doesn't matter if you grab the sticks and they're the same size or one is longer, you're going to trim them out anyways to make this work. I think this is going to be my trip. This is going to be what triggers that snare. So I'm going to leave this probably just like that. Yes. And if you look at what I'm doing, let's turn this around again. If you look at what I'm doing, I'm basically just giving myself a rough estimate as to where things are. When you see the end result, when you see everything put together before we trip the snare, you'll understand all this. And you'll also see why it's important that those 3 sticks you get are strong. Now, I need this cut about right here, but that's going to be tough. There we go. That broke off nice and perfect. Matter of fact, I might just use this. All right, let's put this away because we should be done with it. Now, what I want to do with this is just trim this out. Is I'm going to make me a noose. So, a simple way I do a noose is this is kind of like a fishing knot. You're going to make this loop and you're going to wrap this main string around. Some people say 7 times, some people say 5. 2 or 3 is enough. And you know what? When you're hungry and you need to catch some food, there, and then you got yourself a simple knot. Now, let's go back over here, and I'm making sure I don't destroy what I just made. And then what I'm going to do is lift my weight up one more time. Where's that piece? Where's that piece? Where is that piece? Yeah, there we go. I'm going to take and tie this piece. All I did when I pulled it up was just give myself a rough estimate as to where I want this string. This is going to be your trigger, okay? And you see how long it is? I don't want it in the middle. I want it on one of the ends. And all I'm going to do is just tie it to this end. Oh, come on. You gotta make sure this part right here is tied halfway decently tight, and that should be good right there. So when you're done, it should look like that. Okay, don't tie the trigger to the middle of the stick. Pick an end and tie it to one of those ends, and you'll see why here in a minute. Before we pull that back up again, let's scoot this back. Scoot this back. Get this out of the way. What I want to do here okay, for the set stick right here, see my trip? I've got it going just past those two pieces that we first made. Now I gotta get this in the ground best as I can. And then let's go ahead and tamp around it. Okay, now the fun part. And all I'm gonna do here it is. There it is. Okay, let's see. Let's see the best positioning so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Work with me, guys. I'll grab my weight again, and I'm gonna take the stick that I got real short, and I'll put it right under the arms of these two V's. And then I'm gonna take this set stick And there we go. Set this set stick, and I'm gonna put it right in front like this, and I'm just going to twist it around just like this. Can you guys see that all right? I'm going to take the long stick that I've been eyeballing everything with, and I'm going to put it right against that stick I just stubbed in the ground. And don't you dare. I've got to be real careful. That is a hair trigger on that. And I'm going to take my noose and I'm going to set it right on this trip. Just like that. Okay, let me turn this around and walk you through the whole setup of what we got here. Okay, let's do it this way. Get on this side. Here's that real short stick I stubbed into the ground. Here's my trigger. And it's holding the trip stick, which is twisted around this way. And that trip, and you notice, guys, I'm using one string to do all the attachments, including the noose. If you have to tie strings together, ooh, that was close. That was close. And there's my trigger, or there's my, you would call that the engine. That's gonna make everything go. Okay, when you turn that key, that's gonna go. So, and see how I got that noose? What you want is put the bait. I like to put it underneath the trigger so that I step on that trigger, and I'm gonna also funnel this. I'm gonna funnel this so that when they go through here, they can't go around. They have to go through here. Okay, and depending on what you're catching, rabbits, in my case, a skunk, whatever. Let's let's find something we can trip this with. Well, it's not going to be that. I use. There we go. I don't really want to. Anyways, you got an animal. They're coming along, and they're in here, and they're trying to get under that trigger right there, and they press this, and watch, guys. Oh, I don't want to do that. When that gets pressed, and there's your dinner. Okay, this I shouldn't have used that. Usually it'll work itself around and it'll bring the animal into air, and what you got is it suffocates the animal. It suffocates the animal if you use the proper weight or springy enough branch that's got a lot of whip to it, strength. uh Ideally you want to snap the animal's neck, but at the end of the day, it's food. Okay, and that is your simple spring snare. Oh my goodness. And if you get the concept of this spring snare, the sky's the limit. I can show you easy a good 8 9 other types of trip snares I can make using this concept. Uh, and it's very effective. And it's not just limited to small animals and small game. I've made these big enough to catch deer before. Uh, it just takes a heck of a trigger and a lot of counterweight. But this works as effective. It's one of my favorite snares because it's so effective. And the ratio is, if you want to catch one rabbit, you have to put out 10 snares. The ratio is 10 to 1. If you put out one and think you're going to get something, I don't know, you might be the luckiest person on earth. Me, I'm not that lucky. Uh, so I would have to put out 10 of these. And one of them's going to yield me something. I'm going to eat. I will eat that day. So that's basically your simple snare, spring snare, and I hope you guys got a kick out of watching it. I'll do more videos like this. Sorry I was slow on the roll on getting stuff like this going, but circumstances didn't allow me to do it. I had to be stealthy and sneaky and uh, and I had a poop sandwich to eat, and I had to eat it. And the only thing I could do was figure out where I wanted to eat it with mayonnaise or mustard. But I've finally got a free time and decided this would be something fun to show you and teach you. And if you have any questions, ask me in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. But other than that, Redneck Patriot out. Like, share if you like my vibe, subscribe, and comment, guys. Help me get these algorithms, help me get this channel up to where I can start tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Out.